Friends, welcome to my workplace for hands-on Phaco and SICS training. Let us observe this temporal small incision cataract surgery. This patient has against the rule astigmatism, that is the steep axis is 3 o'clock, 9 o'clock, and the amount of astigmatism is 2.5 diopter. So, to reduce this astigmatism, temporal SICS has been planned and the incision is planned a straight incision which will reduce more amount of astigmatism. If it is a frown incision, reduction of astigmatism will be less. So peritomy has been done, bipolar wide field cautery is done, and now I am placing a straight incision. The length of this incision is about 7.5 millimeter. Even it can be up to 8 millimeter. The cataract is very hard. Nucleus sclerosis is grade 5, huge nucleus, and it will come out easily, and the astigmatism control will be more if the incision is on the larger side. Very nice corneal valve is planned. I go into the clear cornea for about 2 millimeter and then sweep backward. Sclerocorneal tunnel has to be made very patiently. The thickness of the anterior wall of the tunnel should be about half thickness of the sclera. On the two sides, the incision goes towards along the limbus, and the inner incision becomes more than the outer incision. So a good sclerocorneal tunnel has been made. And now a side port is made at 6 o'clock. This is the right eye of the patient. An air bubble is injected. Beneath this air bubble, trypan blue dye is applied over the anterior capsule. This is adrenaline. Now the dye is washed out. Excess dye should not be in the anterior chamber for a long time. This is a precautionary measure to prevent TAS, toxic anterior segment syndrome. And now Capsulorhexis is to be done. I take a needle, that is a 26 gauge bent needle, and start the rhexis. We should keep in mind that the whole nucleus has to prolapse, so the size of the rhexis has to be adequate. It should be about 5.75 to 6 millimeter. I am entering into the antechamber with a 2.8 millimeter keratom because I may need this passage. Yes, I am going to use the Utrata forceps now to do the rhexis. Visco again. We have to use adequate amount of visco. We should not work in shallow anterior chamber. Possibility of touching the corneal endothelium is many times if we work in shallow anterior chamber. An adequate sized rhexis is done, and now hydro dissection is to be done. Visco again. Before hydro dissection, the sclerocorneal tunnel is opened completely and the tissue is cut by forward movement only. We must remember the contour of the surface of the eyeball when we cut the tissue. And now hydrodissection is done. There is strong capsulocortical adhesions. And now I am going to use 2 hooks to bring the nucleus out of the bag. Yes, the nucleus has come out of the bag and now it is in the anterior chamber. Visco is applied both in front and behind the nuclear mass. And now the nucleus is to be delivered out of the anterior chamber. I'm taking this irrigating vectis, place the irrigating vectis just behind the nucleus and see how beautifully the nucleus comes out. This is because the size of the wound was adequate. There is lot of lens matter remaining. This soft cortical lens matter can be visco expressed. That means inject visco, depress the posterior wall of the sclerocorneal tunnel and it will come out. And now is the time to clean the cortex nicely. I take a Simcoe cannula, irrigate and clean the corneal endothelium first, and then irrigation and aspiration is done. I go through the side port. If I go through the side port, the maintenance of the anterior chamber is much better. When we work through the main wound, we should inject some visco so that the antechamber maintenance is better. Cleaning of the cortex is done. And now the anterior chamber and the capsular bag is filled up with 2% hydroxypropyl methyl cellulose. And now this is the lens we are going to implant. This is a PMMA lens from Apasami Associates. This is named Lumera-T lens. These PMMA rigid lenses are very good when we have a large wound. It's a monofocal lens and the biocompatibility is very good, and these lenses never become opaque. Hydrophilic acrylic lenses, there are reports thousands of lenses have become opaque, but this lens remains clear. The lens has been placed in the capsular bag, and now the haptics are placed at 12 o'clock and 6 o'clock. That is 90 degrees away from the main wound. This is because in this orientation of the lens, we can go behind the lens and clean the bag very nicely. I am using an eye hook and checking if there is any cortical matter remaining anywhere, or if there is any lens fragment or any epinucleus remaining anywhere. So once I am sure that nothing is there, I take the Simcoe cannula, irrigate the anterior chamber, and now I push the lens and go behind the lens and irrigate the capsular bag. Irrigation of the capsular bag is very much necessary. And now cleaning, it has to be thorough, because if we leave some visco, this is going to raise the intraocular pressure. Some cortical lens matter was also there, and that has been removed at this time. Some fibers were there. And now this is this is air bubble, and now this is a removal of the lateral rectus bridle suture. Moxifloxacin is injected in the anterior chamber and under the conjunctiva, and now I am placing a releasable suture to oppose the conjunctiva at the limbus, and this is going to be just 3 loops and pull. Before that, this is the final lavage of the anterior chamber. The anterior chamber is nicely formed. Integrity of the wound is to be checked. I feel the pressure of the eyeball, it is okay. And now see the releasable suture. 1, again, 1, 2, 3, 3 loops, hold this and pull. And now cut the long thread with the needle very close to the knot, and keep the other thread little longer. If we pull this longer thread, the knot will open. This is the end point of the surgery. This patient did very well. Astigmatism against the rule, which was plus 2.5, diopter reduced by 2 diopter, and only plus 0.5 diopter of against the rule astigmatism remained. Thank you very much for your attention.